Hello everybody. Okay, we are on to week 3. Oh man, we are chugging right along. So last week we saw some kind of heady, difficult stuff. We looked at some functions and spreadsheets and formulas. And this week we're gonna go maybe a little bit lighter, but not really. We're gonna look at some nuances in documents, a little bit more word processing stuff. Gonna look at some more features of spreadsheets and maybe have a look at Google presentation. Also last week, I apologize, I kind of dropped the ball a little bit on surveys and kind of technology items. Okay, this week I'm going to actually cover 2 technology items since I didn't last week. We're going to look at Dropbox and YouTube. I know most of you are probably familiar with YouTube since I've kind of forced you to use it. So let's see, the other thing, some housekeeping items. From here on out, if there are assignments that require grading by hand, like the short answer problem last week, I'm going to make that a separate assignment. So you have the automatically graded ones and the ones that I have to grade. Otherwise, giving you multiple attempts doesn't really serve much of a purpose. Let's see, what else? That's really about it. The other thing, this week the videos might look a little different because I'm using Chrome instead of Safari. The reason being I found a bug in Safari using footers and footnotes. It's not really important. Just so you know, if you try and use footnotes and footers at the same time in Safari, it doesn't work properly. It works fine in everything else. It's a problem with the browser, not with the web app. So, on to questions. So, I had a couple of questions this week. The first question was basically, where's my survey? There was no survey last week. I apologize. I wrote one up, but I didn't really like the way it turned out, and I showed it to one of my professors in the PhD program, and he kind of told me I was kind of making life hard on you guys. I ended up scrapping it. I didn't have time to come up with a new one, and I didn't feel right posting it after the week had already started. This week we will come back to surveys, and you may notice on some of them the questions are a little easier. No more 11-point scales. Apparently that's just not nice to do that. I thought it was fun, but the other big question is, how do I see the answers to previous tests? Now, I thought they were readily available. Apparently not. As I may have mentioned, the answers should become available once the due date has passed. So prior to that, you won't be able to. Now, it's good to look at the previous tests, the homework assignments, because that's a good way to prep for the upcoming quiz next week, which we will talk about that more at the end. Otherwise, this week we're going to talk about word processing, inserting images, dealing with headers and footers, footnotes, page numbers, and comments. We're also going to look at conditional formatting in spreadsheets, cell formats, and the round function in spreadsheets. Going to glance briefly at if statements and cover more on charts. Don't worry too much about if statements and if error statements. Those we're probably not going to be tested on yet. Those will be not next week because that's a quiz, but the week after that they might show up on the homework. Just so you're aware. I'll talk about them more if that's going to be the case. We're also going to look at presentations. The presentation video is someone else's. I like to give you guys multiple perspectives. I think maybe it's nice, but in this week's survey, because there is one, I actually ask you if you like me doing the videos or if you like having somebody else do them as well.